Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name's Bobby. This is Shepherding for God, the channel that we focus on the Word. We focus on understanding what the Word means. And this brand new series, which will have new episodes every Thursday. Hold me to that, y'all. Every Thursday. This series is all about foreshadowing. And if you guys are like, Bobby, what do I look like, an English major? Don't worry. This whole video will have definitions for anything that might be very confusing. So let's get into it. So the first foreshadowing that we are going to look at is actually found in Genesis chapter 22. So let's get in it, y'all. All right. So hopefully you guys can see this. So this is the story of Abraham and Isaac. If you're brand new to the Bible, don't worry. This is still the beginning of the Bible. You are not getting way advanced, like far into the Bible. We're still at the beginning. So let's look at how Isaac, that's really who we're looking at right now. And I mean, even Abraham too, to be honest. We're going to see how he correlates with God as well. But how Isaac is going to foreshadow who is to come, aka Jesus Christ. So first and foremost, right, because you guys are like, Bobby, you promised us you would tell us what foreshadow means. I did not forget you guys. I got you. So let me show you the definition of foreshadowing. Okay. So here we are, you guys. I'll make this bigger so we can read. Foreshadowing. Being a warning or indicating of a future event. Now, before you guys are like, oh, Bobby, that's prophecy. No. This is different, okay? This is showing what is to happen before it happens, but not saying straight out, this is what's going to happen, right? Prophecy tells you, like, hey, this is what's going to happen. These events are going to take place. Often it's in a very, like, poetic way, so you really got to pay attention to prophecies. Foreshadowing, on the other hand, is just God giving us a glimpse of what he will do in the future through others. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over to Genesis 22. Now it came after all these things that God tested Abraham, and God said to Abraham, or said to him, Abraham, he said, here I am. He said, take now your son, your only son. Okay, this right here, you guys, super important. I'm going to finish reading this verse before I tell you why. Whom you love, Isaac, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I tell you. Okay, you guys, we're going to stop right here. Beep. Rewind. Take your only son. I don't know if you guys have never read the New Testament. If you haven't, that's okay. I highly recommend to start with the book of John, which is actually what I will be using to reference today. So God specifically says, your only son. Okay, so let's go over here to John chapter 1, verse 14. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and he saw his glory as of the only begotten from the Father, right? Other translations say the only begotten Son, right? We can go over to chapter 3, a very famous verse, you guys, right? I'm sure you guys already know where I'm going with this one. And if you don't even worry. That's okay. Chapter 3, verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. So you guys see that correlation? So God's telling Abraham, your only son Isaac, and then Christ is called the only begotten son, right? So those that's a first correlation, first foreshadowing there, okay? So that's entering in to what is to come. Let's continue on. So Abraham rose early in the morning and saddled his donkey and took 2 of his young men with him and Isaac his son. And he split wood for a burnt offering and arose and went to the place of which God had told him. On the 3rd day, Abraham raised his eyes and saw the place from a... Okay, you guys. We're going to stop again. Rewind. What was that? What was that right here? The 3rd day. You guys. I'm just saying there's another correlation. And you're probably like, okay, Bobby, where's this correlation at? Well, I will show you guys. Okay, you guys, so we're going to go over here again, still sticking in John. For this whole video, I will stick to the book of John so you don't get confused at all. And I highly recommend reading the book of John, okay? Especially if you're a new believer, the book of John is your jam to learn who Jesus is. So, John chapter 2, verse 19. Jesus answered them, destroy this temple, in 3 days I will rise it up. Okay? So, Abraham, after 3 days, looked up and seen the mount on which he was supposed to give Isaac as an offering. Christ was murdered, and 3 days later, he arose again. Okay? You guys probably like, oh, that's reaching. It's not reaching. Those are very, very foreshadowing there. Very much telling beforehand. But let's continue reading. This story alone, you guys, whoo, so much foreshadowing. I absolutely love it. Okay. Abraham said to his young man, stay here with the donkey, and I and the lad will go over there, and we will worship and return to you. So, before I go on, I also want to point this out. This isn't foreshadowing, but imagine how Abraham felt, and not only Abraham, but the young men he left behind, because they knew what it meant to go and give sacrifice, right? A lamb with you to give unto a sacrifice. They didn't bring a lamb, y'all. Okay, so these boys were probably like, what is, has he gone crazy? Where's the sacrifice? I don't understand. And the whole time, Abraham's probably like, God blessed me with this child. He promised him to me. He promised great things from him. And he promised that my seed would be blessed. So there's a bunch of fear here without us even being told there's fear here. There's confusion, there's fear, there's all these kind of emotions that I think we forget are actually happening, and that these people were real people. They really went through these things. This isn't some fictional made up book. These are true historical accounts, right? As a parent, I can only imagine what Abraham felt. I can only imagine the small fear that he had, but also the greatness of his reliance on God and his faith that God would do miraculous. Back to the foreshadowing, though, you guys. I just wanted to get your Get you thinking on that. Okay, so Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on Isaac his son. And he took his hand, the fire, and the knife. So the two of them walked together. Okay, so we're going to stop again. Rewind. Abraham took the wood and laid it on Isaac. Laid it on Isaac. You guys. Isaac carried the wood in which he would be sacrificed upon. What does that sound like? You guessed right. Christ. Yep. Christ carried his own cross. And for reference on that, you can go to, hold on, let me grab it up real quick. Okay, you guys, so it's right over here in John chapter 19, verse 17. They took Jesus, therefore, and he went out, bearing his own cross. Sorry, hold on. Bearing his own cross. You guys, do you see this correlation? Like, they go hand in hand. Isaac carried his wood, Christ carried the cross. God's just showing us things left and right. He is speaking to us throughout the whole Bible, and it's so beautiful. Beautiful. And you guys, in the next video, we're going to go all the way back to the beginning of the Bible, and I'm going to show you that the gospel was written at the very beginning. But that's for next one. That's for next one. All right, let's get back to it, you guys, because there's so much more. Ooh, my heart is so happy. Abraham, his whole story is a giant foreshadowing of God. Like, I'll show you guys also, not in this video, because this one, I really want you guys to see that the foreshadowing of the crucifixion was here. But later, I'll show you even the foreshadowing of when God made the promise to Abraham. And God is so good, you guys. I can't believe he loves us so much. Oh, I know I don't deserve it. Anyways, let's continue on. Isaac spoke to Abraham, his father, and said, "My father." And he said, "Here I am, my son." And he said, "Behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" You guys, Isaac not stupid. He's like, "Dad, we're going up this mountain. You said we're going to go worship and give offering, right? I know how to do offering. We take wood, we make a fire, and we kill a lamb, and then we give it as burnt offering. I see the wood. We made the fire. I don't see a lamb anywhere. Who? What? Where? I think you missed something, old man. Right? Like that's what Isaac's saying. But this is so good, you guys. Abraham said prophecy without even knowing he said prophecy, you guys. Wait for it. Wait for it. Right here, right here. Abraham said, God will provide for himself the lamb. Okay? Okay? For the burnt offering, my son. So the two of them walked together. Ooh, you guys. You guys. Ooh, God is so good. He makes my heart so happy. God will provide for himself the lamb. Okay? Let's really, really look at this verse right here. God will provide, right? So, first and foremost, God's going to give the lamb. But not only that, himself the lamb. Himself the lamb. What do we call Jesus? We call him the lamb, the purest lamb, the perfect sacrifice. Because he was placed upon that cross, whoo, he got rid of it all. He fulfilled it all. Why? Because he was God. He was the lamb. Abraham right here was speaking prophecy without knowing he was speaking prophecy. God will provide himself the lamb. You guys. It's so exciting to see that God was there the whole time and he already had it all mapped out. But he never forces himself upon any of us. So even though his time is way ahead of ours because he's outside of the realm of time, and we're always playing catch up, he gives us hints, he gives us so many signs, and we just overlook them time and time and time again. Okay, you guys. Ooh, this is it's so good. Gonna make me cry. All right, let's continue on. Abraham said, oh, sorry, rereading. Abraham said, God will provide for himself the lamb for the burnt offering, my son. So the two of them went off and walked. And if any of you are like, Bobby, you put in pauses where pauses don't go, obvious. When the Bible was written, it was a big old paragraph, okay? We are the ones that added commas, periods, chapters, verses. Don't start with me, okay? And they came to the place of which God had told him. And Abraham built an altar there and arranged the wood and bound his son Isaac and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. Whew, you guys, Christ was. So, if you don't know how crucifixion goes down, it's a horrible thing. So, first and foremost, they made him carry his cross after he was beaten. Okay? It's not like it was just like, oh, I gotta carry my cross to my death. No. It was, I have been beaten. There is skin that has been shed off of my back. I am bloody. I have open wounds. My feet hurt. I am just nasty. I got a crown of thorns pierced into my head. And now I gotta carry this giant, heavy cross up a hill, right? Because Abraham and Isaac also went up a mountain. Didn't point that one out, but thought you might catch it. Up a hill. So then the cross could be laid down, and I would then have to lay down, and they put nails through my. Oh, they put nails through his wrists and on his feet. Well, more the ankle area, and then they crucified him because he loved us so much and because he wanted us to be with him again. And because of all of that, we are now, we have the ability to be saved and to go home and be with him again. And If that's not love, y'all, I don't know what is. Truly and honestly, I don't know what is. But Isaac was bound like Christ was nailed, and he was laid on top of the altar. Christ was laid on top of the cross. Sorry, you guys. Let's continue on. Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. And he said, so this is the angel of the Lord here, right? This is God. Do not stretch out your hand against the lad. Do nothing to him. For I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. You guys, when Christ humbled himself, when God humbled himself, drew back all of his might, all of his power to embody and walk with man. He was saying, I love you so much that I am willing to go through what you go through. I am willing to do what you do. Hi, handsome boy. And so the Jews no longer have to sacrifice. So you no longer have to constantly work to obtain
Mommy.
cleanliness.
Hey, Mommy.
I see. Sorry, you guys. All right. Let's finish her off because there's just so much. Oh, God is so good. All right. So then Abraham Abraham raised his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in the thicket by his thorns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering in the place of his son. You guys, right here. In the place, maybe if my thing will be nice to me. In the place of his son, God provided. Calm down. It is not okay. In the place of his son, God provided a sacrifice. And we see in the New Testament that God himself provided himself as the perfect sacrifice in place of us, so that we may never have to go through the second death. All of us die. Hi, bug. But because of God, we have the ability to not go through the second death. And if that's not the best thing in the world, as you guys see, I got my tiny people around me. If that's not the most amazing thing in the world, I don't know what is. And just in this story alone, look how many times we saw that God told us what he was going to do before he did it. I don't even have words, you guys. God is amazing. God is so amazing that if we just look at his word for what it is, We didn't even have to dive into logos or into any of you guys. We didn't go Hebrew, we didn't go Greek, we didn't go this apology, that emphasis, that, this and that. We didn't have to Missy Elliott, okay? We just looked at what the word was. And he told us straight out what he was going to do. He didn't say the words, but he showed us. Now, for us, we are so blessed because we live in a time that we have all of this. Abraham lived before all this happened. He was the one walking through it. So he had no idea what was to come. We have seen what happened and how it foreshadowed what is to come, and then it happened. And guess what? It shows us so much. We just have to look. We just have to listen. We just have to take the word for what it is. And the time that we live in is so beautiful because we get to see what happened, what was foretold, what was prophesied, the fulfillment of all the prophecies. And then guess what? At the end of it all, Leonidas, stop! We live in a time that we got to see what it was before, all the things prophesied, how the prophecies were fulfilled, and most of all, we get to see the last prophecy that was given be fulfilled. Because we live in that time. God didn't just leave us hanging at the end, He gave us a look into the future. He gave us examples of what is happening now, today. All you have to do is read the Bible and get with God. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I cannot wait to show you how the gospel was proclaimed in the very beginning of the Bible. That'll be the next video, you guys. So tune in. I can't wait. I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you like, comment, and share. Subscribe if you enjoy my content. I would love to be able to continue to do this and just to know that it's helping people find God. But until next time, y'all, I'll catch you later, and God bless you. Bye.